So if you own the XTRA Muse and you've been wondering if you can capture night lapses with this camera, I have good news. You can, but there's one key setting to know. And I'm going to show you all the settings I use for night lapses today, but there's one setting that you've probably been getting hung up on, and that is probably the shutter speed setting. So there is a trick I'm going to show you where you can get the shutter speed that you need to capture an incredible night lapse. And I'm going to show you some samples that I captured too, just to prove what this camera is capable of. And by the way, if you own the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, these settings will essentially translate to that camera as well. These two cameras are suspiciously twin-like in nature. Let's talk about the settings. All right, so in order to capture a night lapse on here, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna go to the lower left, and you want to make sure you go to time-lapse mode. And then once you're in time-lapse mode, you wanna swipe up from the bottom here, and you wanna select time-lapse and custom. And then here in the upper right where it says 2.7K 30, you wanna change this to 4K 30. And then once you have time-lapse custom 4K 30 set, you're going to swipe up to set the advanced parameters. Now on this camera, due to the sensor size, you can have a lesser interval and still capture the celestial objects in the night sky. And the reason for that is a larger sensor lets in more light. So what I typically do for my interval is I do 15 seconds or 20 seconds. Now, if you happen to be in an urban area, you can do even less than this, because in an urban area, you don't need as slow of a shutter speed to capture the proper exposure because there is more lighting in an urban area. But if you're wanting a dark nightscape to capture stars, a meteor shower, the northern lights, anything like that, go with 15 seconds. And then for the video duration down here, I recommend selecting infinity. That way you can start and stop the night lapse when you wish to do so. So after you've set those settings, we're going to swipe back down and we're gonna go over here, we're gonna swipe in from the right. These are the key advanced parameters. So first of all, for the white balance, we wanna select 3800K. That is the proper white balance for nighttime, and things are going to look good with that night balance. For the format down here, you can do video, video plus JPEG, or video plus RAW. My personal preference is video plus RAW, because then not only do I get the .mp4 video file, but I also get those individual photos later on that if I really want to fine tune them and get the very best night lapse possible, I can edit those raw photos and then export them and then put them on a timeline as a time lapse. So I like to do video plus raw. And then over here for the focus mode, I recommend keeping that single. You don't want your focus changing on you during your night lapse. You want it to stay consistent. So I like to do single there. But here's the key. Most of the time when I show you the best settings for night lapses on a camera, the exposure goes to manual. But in this case, with this camera, you don't want to do an exposure of manual. And let me show you why. So of course it's overexposed, it's during the day. But when we go here to slow down our shutter speed, you're gonna notice something. We get to 1 second and then we can't go any further. So if you use the manual mode on here, you're limited to just 1 second at nighttime. And 1 second is not a slow enough shutter speed. You're not going to be able to capture even close to the amount of lighting you need. But if you go back to auto here, here's the trick. So go to auto, and then over here for the ISO, set your ISO to 50 to 800. So when you do that, the camera is going to, first of all, it's going to prefer a lower ISO when possible, which of course would be close to 50. But at nighttime, it is going to boost the ISO all the way to 800, and that's fine. But what it's also going to do is it's going to slow the shutter speed down. So you're not going to be able to see this presently because it's very, very bright out today. But what it's going to be able to do is it's going to be able to take that auto shutter speed way, way down, much slower than the 1 second. In fact, what it's going to do, if you have this in a dark room, anything like that, you can see just holding my hand over it, what it did is slowed it all the way to about 1/80. If you have this out in the darkness, you're gonna notice this go way down to 7, 8, sometimes up to 10 seconds. I have seen that. So after you put that in, you're gonna hit confirm. And one thing worth noting is because of the setting, that makes this camera an excellent choice for a holy grail time lapse. And what that means is that is a day to night or night to day time lapse. Because that shutter speed is auto, your camera's going to be able to adjust the shutter speed automatically to match the lighting. But one note, if you do decide to do a holy grail time lapse, with the white balance here, you just want to go back to auto white balance so that it'll change properly for daytime to nighttime or nighttime to daytime. But those are the settings you need to know, and that exposure is really key. You want to keep that set to auto. and it's going to give you phenomenal results. Try it out, you'll love it. And if you'd like to learn more about the XTRA Muse and how to get the best footage with this camera, check out this playlist right here.